And we are live once again. We were busily chatting, weren't we? And we've managed to get on time, just about. And that's the beauty of all of these interviews is that we all like haven't seen each other for so long, and it's like, oh my goodness, we get to chat. But anyway, let's put all that aside. Dearest Vila, can you share with our viewers um, what your life was like before mystery school, what then you perhaps did, what steps you took in the mystery school, and then what your life is like now. Now we know we only have 10 minutes, but if we can squeeze it all in, that would be amazing.
Yes, so much we could talk about in this, and it's so cool to get to discuss the journey, because that really is such a huge theme for me in my life, is that I feel like I've been on this rather epic journey, and each kind of section of my life feels like this big chapter, and there were significant pieces and learning, and I just love that. It really is who I am. And so it's really fun to sit here and look back and see these really significant points along the path, along the journey of coming to greater self-knowledge. So before I came to the mystery school, I had a tumultuous 20s, like many of us do. I was always very spiritual, seeking, asking a lot of questions, looking for that deeper connection. That was always a major theme for my life, is that I was never satisfied with the status quo, and I didn't want to take things at face value. I was looking, but at the same time juggling, all the expectations and my desires and what I thought I wanted and what I thought was right. And so I think the best way to say what was my life like before mystery school was, I feel like I was tortured by the questions of, like, what am I here to do? And this sense of life purpose. And I know there's something significant. I know there's something important that I'm here to do. How do I find it? And I was kind of obsessed with that. Throughout my 20s. And I thought, to begin with, I thought I was going to go into academia. I thought I was going to be, I was on a fast track to a PhD in my early 20s. And then that plan got like totally derailed with a life-threatening illness that took many years to recover from, launched me into a deep depression, and just kind of a series of events, again, that was really challenging. And it was through the process of coming out of that and doing that for myself. I didn't get a lot of help with that. I actually did a lot of that, finding my way on my own, and which was both empowering and kind of lonely. so um so I think, that's what ignited my journey of self-healing, because the physical illness really showed me that when I'm not on track with what's really in alignment for me, my physical body revolts. And it does, it always has, and it continues to do that. When things aren't really aligned for me, my physical body gives me very, very, very clear signals. And so that's what that big illness was in my early 20s. And so to sort of dig into that and discover what it was, and at the same time know that I have this purpose, and seeking from these different spiritual angles, what are the answers? So all of this is what led me to find the Modern Mystery School, right as I shifted out of my 20s, and 30 years old actually was my ding. I found, really, I landed in the Modern Mystery School through another series of amazing synchronistic events.
I love that. I love that because how was your logical mind? Because then you were very, into the academic world, and then of course, for me, metaphysics is the study. Well, as we know, the study of the hidden sciences. So it makes complete sense to me, in terms of. But I know a lot of people who have that academic mind don't always transition over so well. How did you find it?
You know what? It was the answer to everything I was looking for, and especially, so I'm going to say it here. I say it all the time. Especially Kabbalah, the Universal Hermetic Ray Kabbalah, because it's so I studied music and I studied religious studies, and I was going to go into ethnomusicology. I wanted to find, where music is that language of the soul and speaks universally to everybody. So I was always seeking that deeper truth. And what I found, in the world of academics, again, in my 20s, I just became very disillusioned because when I got sick, I couldn't pursue my graduate studies. So I ended up working at the university and I worked in the world of student services. And so I kind of saw behind the curtain. I saw what it was like, and how these faculty members, these PhDs, these professors, how they treated their staff. And just where the egos were and just where people were really kind of wrapped up in the things to me that weren't important. That was not what I was interested in. I was interested in something underneath, something deeper, in really in the higher learning itself and where it can take us and what new roads and pathways can open up within us because of that knowledge, because of that learning, because of that exploration. And so, I never found that anywhere except in
Yeah,
mystery school.
it's so cool that you bring that up, because that was one of the draws for me, is that it was like you could really delve deep into the study, into the science of it, into the into the processes, but the energy was there, and it shifted you when you move those concepts through your mind with a lineage behind it, versus just sitting there in a classroom, recalling or reading. Oh my goodness, such a different experience.
Absolutely. And especially within the work of Kabbalah, because it gives you this framework, it gives you a framework with which to approach deeper study. So you can come at it from so many different angles, but it all fits into one larger intelligence, one larger understanding of, this pattern of creation, how the universe actually works and how the energy flows. And so for me, and it also helped me make sense of my life up to that point, because I had felt like I was all over the map. I'd done so many different kinds of jobs, and, I'd worked in some of the creative arts, but then I was also, in academics and some of the sciencey world, and, more office oriented. And so it didn't, I wasn't finding like one thing that I should be doing. And within the context of Kabbalah, it all fit. It was like, oh, great. No, this is all just me understanding these different aspects of who I really am. And they all lead to a deeper understanding of, my true self.
Amazing. So tell me, I know we don't have much time and I feel like we have to have another chat, but tell me how your life is now. Because we've talked a little bit about how your life was before, but how is your life now? Obviously you're initiated and such like. So how does it compare?
Yeah. So when I landed in the mystery school, so like I said, I was 30 years old. So I was ready for, to open up this new chapter for my life. And interestingly enough, for me, mystery school and family came boom at the same time. So I got my life activation. My husband and I started dating like a week later, and we moved very quickly into the world of family. So I have been on this journey of self-knowledge through the mystery school work. And also, I took it on as a career. So very shortly after I came to initiation, actually, I did my first and second step initiation kind of at the same time. And I did it when my daughter was 4 months old. So it really like catapulted everything all at once. So, that nectar, that sweetness, that juiciness that I was looking for to create in my life, just boom, it just started coming in. And so, now 15 years later, I absolutely thrive with my experience of being with my family and helping people really find their own journey of healing. And it's really amazing to also be a parent and get to guide children through that. And then also one of the things I do a lot of is I keep my finger on the pulse of kind of what's going on in that bigger picture, because I feel, as an initiate, as a healer, as a teacher, as a guide, I have a responsibility. I have pieces to give. I have leadership to bring forward in helping people in these really challenging times use those challenges to find something within themselves, to find that strength, to find that greater light, to find that motivation to come more in alignment with that true self.
Amazing, amazing. I know we need more time, so we're going to have to come back. But it was lovely just to get that in a nutshell. Just to talk about your journey, and I've watched you obviously, and we're good friends, and I've watched you with your children, and it's such an amazing thing to see when somebody's going along this path of self-discovery and knowing themselves, and just how much you can work with your family, and healing all of those things that sometimes our parents can pass down, but they don't know, but in this self-discovery we know, so we have the ability to not do that. And I know you're very active in that role, very active with parents and children.
Well, and one thing I will just say that I really love getting to work with my clients and my students on is, we don't have to, we can have it all. We don't have to pick and choose. As parents, as moms, we're often told that, that you have to, if you're going to do this, you have to give up that. It's not true. And, my life is a beautiful example of that. I haven't given up anything. I mean, I've cut out things that aren't helping me move deeper into it. I've surrendered pieces that really weren't serving me anyway. But I love that I get to live as an example, for my kids of like, this is what it takes. It takes, being true to yourself and then being clear about what you're calling in and then doing it.
I love that. Thank you so much, Vila. Thank you. If you want to get in touch with Vila, please do. She is taking clients right now. Vila, what's your contact details? Let me put it in the
so my website is innerradianceacademy.com. Right now I'm located in the Denver area of Colorado.
Inner Radiance. I'll probably
Inner Radiance Academy. Yeah.
I'll add this after so that you can contact me. Thank you so much, and we will see you all again next time.